Hey guys, I'm going to try to work on a lathe stand for my lathe. Probably a lot of you don't even know I have a lathe because you don't see it in any of the videos. It's not out here in this shop. It's still in my garage. But I got one about a year ago. Did a trade for one, and it's one of those Rockler Excelsior mini lathes, I guess they call it. But it did have the extension, so it's got I don't know, I think like, well, I know the stand I'm making is going to be 50 some inches, so it's got a pretty good extension on it, about 19-inch extension I believe it is. But anyway, I've got a piece of plywood back there that I'm going to try to make this out of. And I'm going to start out with, I've got a piece of half-inch MDF already cut for a blank and set here on my CNC, and what I'm going to do is on the side pieces, and I don't know if you can see this or not. We'll see if we can hold it up here. It's just going to be a simple stand. It's going to have a shelf underneath with a cover on it. And like I said, it's 50. Put my eyes on here so I can see what that says. 55 inches long. So I think the lathe itself, I think, is 53, and I forget what the turning length is once you have that extension on there. But anyway, it's going to be plenty big enough for me. And I've had it sitting in the garage. I haven't really, I did play around with it a little bit when I first got it, but I haven't really done anything with it. And I tell you, I've been watching so many videos of especially Frank Howarth and you know, turning those segmented bowls and all that stuff. And I thought, man, I've got to get my lathe set up out here and start practicing and see if I can add that to my arsenal of tools out here. Probably won't ever be that good at it, but still gotta be fun to play around with and make some cool things. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to be working on today. So let's get started. Okay, I used the MDF template. You saw me there on the router table. I just kind of screwed it into these pieces of plywood here and routed around it. So I got two perfectly matched pieces for the sides. Now, because this is going to be holding up my lathe, and that lathe with the extension and everything probably weighs north of 100 pounds or so, what I wanted to do is I wanted to double this up. Like on the sides, I wanted to put a double thickness of plywood to make it extra beefy, and I also wanted to put a shelf down here. So what I'm going to do is, since I've already made this one template and I've used it for everything I'm going to use it for, I'm going to take this and put it on my table saw and cut this off at 8 inches, because what I wanted to do is make a piece like this and an upper piece like this and glue and screw them on, and then I'll have a kind of a built-in dado on that second layer of plywood, and that way that will be my lower shelf. So that's what I'm going to do now, is fire up the table saw and cut up this template for the smaller pieces. Okay, now I've got both of these pieces where they perfectly match, using my flesh trim bit and my router table. So I'm done with this little template. Now with what I cut off of this, I found out that, I mean, I've still got a good piece of material back here, but since I have to make several long pieces for the top, I'm doubling it up. I've got the shelf that goes under there, some support rails, and things like that. So just so I can try to conserve material, I think what I'm going to do, even though I can only get one of these out of this piece, what I'm going to do is I'll put some over here and use some of this, and I think maybe I can just piece these pieces together, because they're going to get glued to the inside of the other one anyway, so it's not like they have to be a solid piece. But I did want to beef it up just a little bit. So I'm going to cut this one out, and then I'll use the place trim bit in the router table for that, and then we'll figure out how to piece that other one together. Okay guys, I got this pieced one together here, and I think you can probably see this. This is the bottom section, and I just stuck a scrap piece in here to make sure I was creating the right size dado. That'll be for the shelf. And then I cut this one 3/4 short too, because the top's going to be doubled up, where the top piece will sit on top of here, and then the other inner piece will sit here. So this will be 1.5 inches thick too. This is 1.5 inches thick because I doubled the plywood, and it's going to be good and sturdy, I think. So I just got this glued up. Put some little brad nails in there to hold it while it's gluing up. And that's probably all I'm going to do for today. I'll come back out here tomorrow and finish this up, because it's basically just ripping some pieces. They will have some beveled edges to match this if I don't screw up and if I do it right. So hopefully I can get that done tomorrow. But yeah, I got a late start today. Today was Rocky's bath day, and he's been telling me for the last hour that it's dinner time. So I'm going to call it a night tonight, and I'll come back out in the morning. Okay guys, I managed to get the shelf and the two top pieces cut for this. Was so busy trying to sneak up on that 6-degree bevel and get the width right that I really didn't think about turning on the camera to shoot any video. But now that I've got these cut, I gotta sit there and figure out how I'm going to get this thing glued together. Okay guys, finally finished the glue and screw for my lathe stand. Seems to be plenty sturdy, nice and solid. It's holding me up quite well. For anybody who might want to build this lathe stand, like I said, it's nothing fancy, just nothing but, you know, birch plywood from your local home improvement store. This one happens to be 12 inches wide here at the top, on the top, or 12 inches deep, I guess I should say. The legs taper down to 18 inches wide, which makes it a nice stable stand. This one is 55 inches long, and from the floor to the top here is 30¼ inches. I was measuring my lathe, and from whatever it's sitting on to the center line of the workpiece is about 12.5. So I think that's going to be a good height for a short guy like me. Another thing I want to talk about is, in one of the videos the other day, I talked about the table saw brackets, and I got several emails. I probably had, I don't know, a dozen or so emails saying that people are interested in these. And so what I did is I created a folder, and just every time I get an email saying somebody would like to have one, I save it in that folder. And I'm just kind of keeping track to see if I got enough. And, you know, I got probably about a dozen or so people. Looks like they're interested in this. So I'm probably going to do another run of these. You know, they'll come, like before, they'll come with the HDPE inserts. I had a 1/4-20 tapped hole here for the knob. Mine wore out, so I think what I'm going to do is enlarge that hole, and we'll put a 3/8 weld nut right there instead of that, and that'll be a little sturdier. And then, you know, you can just take a 3/8 bolt, make your own knob or handle or whatever you want to do. The holes on the top, I've got to check the spacing. I'm not sure what the spacing is here, but if it needs to be adjusted, I'm going to adjust it to where it will work with a piece of 2-inch wide 80/20 aluminum extrusion. That would be your best bet for a fence, is get a piece of 2x3 80/20 aluminum extrusion, and that way with all those slots and things on it, you can hook up all kinds of jigs and fixtures and stuff like that. That really makes a good fence. So anyway, I'll do another run of these, probably 15 or 20 or so, something like that, and we'll see how long it takes to get rid of those. But once I get the run done, I'll go through my email list there, and I'll contact the people that have said they're interested. And if you're still interested, we'll see if we can get you one of these. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is I'm going to go on a road trip, if you will. I'm going to go visit a friend of mine's shop not far from here, and it's probably not going to be next weekend because it's Easter, but probably maybe the weekend after that. And you definitely won't want to miss that. This is a really nice shop, big, roomy, lots of nice equipment in there, and they do some fantastic work. So I've got a friend of mine that I'd like to introduce to y'all, and I think you'll be amazed at some of the work they do. Also, one other thing, I'm still planning on doing the 4x8 CNC router back behind the camera there, along that back wall where my current CNC is. But I've got some other things I'm working on. If you follow my YouTube channel or subscribe to me because of the CNC stuff I do, you definitely will want to keep coming back and see what I've got in store. So that's probably going to take about, I don't know, 3 to 4 weeks. I'm finalizing some stuff now. Got to get some quotes on some things. But I'm trying to get something in the works, and like I said, if you like the CNC stuff, you'll definitely want to come back and check that out. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you haven't already subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do. If you like what you see on these videos, please hit the like button down below. I really appreciate all my new subscribers. I continue to get a bunch of new subscribers every week, so really appreciate that, guys. And I guess that's going to do it for this one. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time. You've been walling around in the dirt again, haven't you? Yeah, I see. Yeah, he's a good boy, yeah. I was getting ready to shoot a thing here. Do you mind? Do you mind?